The other possibility is that nobody even knew that this altar to the Black Mass existed, and they may have even kept it covered up. It's not until you zoom in that you can really see how evil the whole thing is. There's all kinds of winged demons, griffins, devils. If there's any humans depicted, then they're usually depicted as being boiled or eaten, or having their limbs crushed and broken.
What about these figures up here? Are they saints or are they?
Well, they're meant to be, but you know, it's just basically a cover story for having this evil altar. You see griffins there, all kinds of weird things, and then yeah, at the centre of this entire horrible altar, you've got this mouth of a monster with another monster inside, and to the left of the monster inside the mouth there's a cauldron full of people being boiled and other people, and there's people being hung as well. You may, ask yourself, what's this actually doing in a church? It's so evil. It's like a kind of medieval version of a Hammer House of Horror movie. There's a cartload of people that are going to be probably eaten or killed in some horrible fashion. And it's important to remember that the Knights Templar were very, very much involved in the design of these kinds of cathedrals, and it's no wonder that guilds of Freemasons were formed, and they secretly worked on these buildings and then destroyed all of the blueprints. But all the paint, as you can see behind, it was painted in very, very gaudy colours. And what's happened in the year since I was here last is that all that paint's been bleached off to try and make it blend in with the rest of the cathedral, I suppose in order to stop people like me from asking awkward questions. Now the cover story is that you've got, some kind of Mary and Jesus figure standing on top of the devil. But as far as I'm concerned, it's strange that this altar was covered up and not known about up until 3.5 years ago. All this says, there's no information about why there's devils here and this kind of thing. It just says that every Saturday you can come and sit in front of these demonic figures and these demonic statues, and you can make cross signs over your forehead and your chest, and you can think that you're sitting inside a Christian church. Well, nothing could be further from the truth. Why, out of all of these individual chapels in this gigantic cathedral, have they chosen this particular demonic kind of altar to have all of the Christian ceremonies? And the interesting thing is that right behind, and I'll just go over there, is that we have some very, very interesting skull and crossbones iconography. I don't think that's very Christian at all. The expressions on these monks, if indeed they are monks, I believe that they could be Knights Templar. As you can see, their expressions are very, very strange. They're passing on some kind of information to each other, or they're being given information, and the information they're being given is not to their liking. And there's some more of them here. These are very, very sort of demonic, nasty looking kind of monk figures, and they don't look happy at all. So you've got 6 very elaborate carvings there. Not a single one of these figures is happy. Now, to the left of these 6 rather dissatisfied, nasty looking monks, if that's indeed what they are, they look like black magicians to me, is that you have this even more scary face which is passed off as being a cherub. Well, that's not a cherub at all. In the Ars Goetia, that's known as Volvac or Volak, and it's a demon spirit that appears as a child who usually rides on the back of a winged serpent or a winged griffin or a winged dragon. And as you can see, that is not the happy face of a cherub. It's been deliberately carved as an evil face, and in the left-hand pupil you can see that very clearly. And you say, well, where's the dragon? If that's meant to be Volak or Volvac from the Goetia, where's the dragon? Well, the dragon is right here, and there's two of them in symmetry. So that does not fit into the idea of an angel or a cherub. It's very, very demonic, and that sits on top of a plaque which has very, very serious and nasty skull and bones iconography. But there's larger griffins and dragons and larger sort of strange composite creatures which resemble the creatures which are described in ancient magical texts elsewhere in this cathedral. So let's take a look at them. Creature which is described in the Goetia. The feet of some character who's meant to be some pious contributor to the church. And the curators really don't like me pointing out this kind of thing, but that's obviously not a dog. It's some demonic creature. And it's very, very typical of the kinds of things that you see described in the Ars Goetia. This is another example of the kinds of demonic things that are slipped in and unnoticed in all of these so-called Christian places. There's a kind of decapitated head. It's a deformed, strange head in one of these tapestries. Of course, that goes completely unnoticed by most people that come here.